Hello everybody, this is Carolyn Serviss and I am a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator, and tonight I want to, or today, whatever it is in your world, wherever you are, it is nighttime here in Maryland in the United States. But to get into this, I wanted to show you this card that I made using the Soft Pastels Assortment, some Versamark, and an embossing folder. The embossing folder that I'm going to be using is called the Layered Florals 3D Embossing Folder, and the supplies that I'm using are boho blue card base that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I also have a piece of lemon lolly cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have another piece that I'm going to do the embossing on that measures 3 3/4 by 5, and then I have just a couple of scraps to do the sentiment of boho blue and basic white. So I'm going to start with this white piece, and I'm simply going to place it inside my embossing folder. Let's set this aside. I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine, and I have the number 1 plate going down first, then the number 4, or no, not then the number 4, then the embossing folder and the basic white cardstock, making sure that the fold of the embossing folder goes towards the machine. That'll keep it from cracking, and then the plate number 4. And I'm just going to crank that through. Okay. Look at the texture and dimension in that. Isn't that pretty? I love that. Alright, so now that I have the cut and emboss machine out of the camera area, I can zoom in a bit. You can see this a little closer. Okay, I'm going to take my, actually going to put something down here to protect my surface. I'm going to bring in my Versamark pad, and I'm simply going to drag it across the raised images on this paper. And you don't have to get every raised surface covered. That won't make a big difference. But you definitely want, especially the pieces that are sticking out a lot, you definitely want to get the ink on them. Then you're going to bring in your Soft Pastels assortment, and I'm actually using the blue, the, I can't remember, I think I used the darker yellow, which is mango. I think this is called Night and Navy, and then this one I believe is Calypso Coral. And then a block, and I'm going to start with the blue. You can take the scraping tool on your pick tool to do this, but it's in the other room as usually. Everything I always usually want, and it happens to be in the other room. So I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to scratch off some of the chalk. Just make a nice little pile there. Okay, then I'm going to bring in some sponge daubers, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of that chalk, and I'm going to simply rub that over my flower. Get this down here, I can reach it better. Okay. So I'm just basically doing the large ones in the blue. the large floral images. We've got a little bit of that one on the little tiny one, but that's okay. And this one. Okay. Then put that aside. Then I'm just going to take a paper towel and I'm just going to wipe off the excess. Now I can see a little something I'm not happy with, so I'm going to point it out. So right here, let's see if you can see this. No. Right, well, you can't even see it on the camera, well, barely. There's a line right across there, and that's actually from the Versamark, from the very edge of the Versamark pad. So just try not to get those little lines. I think I can just probably, oh yeah, can use a little eraser. Got most of that right off. Actually, enough that you can't even see it. Okay, so we're happy. Happy again. Alright, so then I'm going to wipe my block off as well. And then I'm going to proceed to do the, oh, I didn't pick that one out, the purple. Okay, and these actually do have specific colors. So the purple is the Gorgeous Grape. The blue, as I said, was Night of Navy. And the orange is, oh, I said Calypso Coral, but I'm wrong. It's Poppy Parade. And then the dark yellow is Mango Melody, and the lighter yellow is Daffodil Delight. Okay, so the purple, again, is going to scrape some of the chalk onto the block, and then take a sponge dauber, get some on there. And these I'm going to do the, do this flower, this one, and this one over here in the corner. And I think that's good. Actually, you know, just out of curiosity, I just want to see what would happen if I did two colors on the same flower. Just curious. I think on my original I did some of the big flowers actually in purple. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what that might look like if you want to combine the colors. Then again, just wipe off that excess and wipe off the excess on your block. There you go. And then we're going to use the yellow. And again, we're just going to scrape some chalk right on the block, pick it up with the sponge dauber, and I'm just going to do all these little yellow flowers. It is actually turning spring in the area where I live. This is reminding me a little bit of that. However, the last couple of days it's gotten cold again. But I like warm weather, so I am ready for spring. Okay, I think I've got that all pretty good. And then again, actually I'm just going to kind of dust that off like so. Get most of it off, and then I can clean this off. Okay, now on this last piece, what I did was I used something other than a sponge dauber. So I decided to use these little, one of my customers gave me these little Q-tips that they've got like a pointed end. I guess you can see that. I don't mean to make you dizzy. And so I'm going to actually use that point to put little orange centers in my flowers. Just the little tiny dots on the centers of all the flowers. And you don't have to be super exact. This is definitely not a technique where that's going to matter. If a little bit of it gets somewhere where you weren't expecting it, it's all good. Okay, did I get them all? I think I did. And then, last but not least, we're going to do a tiny bit of green. And this is actually Granny Apple Green. And I don't need much of this, but I just want to have this color for a few of the leaves. And again, I'm going to use the opposite end of this little Q-tip. And I'm just going to color the leaves. Now, one of the things I should probably point out is when you're using Versamark, you don't want to wait, because that's all the green. You don't want to wait a long time to you know, apply the chalk, like, because the Versamark will actually dry, and so you kind of want to be a little bit on the ball for that. Just rub that off. Make sure I've got enough coverage. Okay, what do you think? Oh, you like it? I like it, like it, like it. And two, another thing, you know, as I'm making things up and think of all the things, oh, I should have done. One of the things that you could think of as well is when you put it into the embossing folder, like look at the pattern. I just sort of put it in and went with it, but look at the pattern and see if like maybe there's a spot that you like better than another. Maybe it has more of the big flowers, or maybe it has less of the big flowers, whichever you think you might like. But you can always make that the focal point instead of just randomly putting it through the embossing folder wherever it might lie, like I did. Okay, and then let me get a little bit of this purple off of there. Okay, I think I'm liking that. All right, so then we're just going to take our boho blue. Actually, I think I'm going to move this now out of the way. You can see a little bit better maybe. I'm going to take my boho blue. I think I already did use that. And then my lemon lolly, a little bit of Tombow glue. And just add, there we go, add some glue to this first layer. Lay it down with about 1/8 of an inch around the border. And then this one you could choose to pop this up if you wanted to. I think in my original I glued, let me see. Okay, yep, I did. So I glued the lemon lolly and the white together and then put them up with dimensionals. This time I think I won't use dimensionals at all. I will have the sentiment with the ribbon that kind of pops up a little bit, so I always try to be cognizant of that when I'm making the thickness of a card, just so that it doesn't have to require any extra postage. As I got ready to put this down, I thought to myself, now you might want to look and see if there is like a direction that you want it to go in, but I really don't think there is, to be honest. I think I like it just the way I happened to pick it up. Oh, I almost forgot something. I want to add some ribbon before I do that. So the ribbon I'm using is the boho blue textured ribbon. This is one of the in colors. Take that off. And I just want to have this be around the card, so roughly cut that there. And add this around the card there, around this edge here. You might want to reinforce that with some Scotch tape, or maybe a little bit more glue when you get ready to put this together, which is what I'm going to do. Just going to put a little bit more glue here. And then as well, I'm going to put it right on the ribbon. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to put it on the card. And again, I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch border of the lemon lolly. Okay, I'm going to bring in my mini cut and emboss machine and a die cut from the Deckled Rectangles die sets. I'm going to actually use the smallest one. And before I do that, I'm actually going to just go ahead and stamp the sentiment. I'm going to use boho blue, and then I'm also going to use a sentiment from the stamp set. Let me move this out of the way. Sentimental Park. And okay, it says, let's see, which one do I want to use? I think I'll use Let's Celebrate. I think I'll use the same ones actually. Let's Celebrate Your Anniversary. So let's celebrate, and then, hard to read in here, I think it's that one. Yep. Okay, so this has lots and lots of choices. This is a great sentiment stamp set. So you can like put let's celebrate, and then it's got your anniversary, your graduation, happy birthday, your new adventure, or thanks for all the wonderful things you do. So there's like a lot how you can like mix and match them. Dear friend, you are amazing. Oh, I said that one, but as you can see, lots of them to play with. And so I'm picking out this one. Oh, I didn't bring a, oh yes I did. Okay, thought I didn't have a block in here. So I'm going to put that on here. Let's Celebrate. And then I'm also going to put right under it, I'm going to squeeze those in together, your anniversary. And use my boho blue. Ink that up and stamp. Okay. All right. Now, I'm actually going to bring in my mini cut and emboss machine and my little Deckled Rectangles die. I'm going to put in my number 1 plate, my number 2 plate, my cardstock, my die cut, and my other number 2 plate. Roll that through. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to add it to this. Let's see what this measures. This little piece of boho blue, measuring 2.5, 1 1/8, 2.5 by 1 1/8. Let's put this on here. Again, a little tiny border around the edge. Right, there we go. Bring my card back in. I think I want that maybe right in the middle. Now again too, you could pop this up with dimensionals if you wanted. Let's do that. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to use the edge for this and just go all the way across it. Yep. Sticky fingers. And then on the other end, I'm going to kind of do the same thing. this one. There we go. And that way that ribbon might be able to like sit right in between it. Peel that off. Okay. And then just mount that right in the center of the ribbon. There you go. What do you think? I like it. I think it's cute. I love the technique with the Versamark and the pastels. It's just quick and simple. You can add whatever colors you want. You have quite an assortment. So we didn't even use all of them. So there's still, I think that is Mossy Meadow, Coastal Cabana, and then, as I said earlier, Daffodil Delight. So there's a lot of colors to play with. Here's another card as well that I made, sort of using the same technique, just different colors. And so hope you liked this video, and if you did, I hope you will put a like on my YouTube and subscribe to my channel so I can share lots more fun techniques with you. So until another day, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll come back and join me again. Thank you.